Collazo was hanging him up after Saturday. Sad day for me. Let's talk about this unsung hero.
Push the weight and no flex. Flex the live is one in the six. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon. Motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Wow, man. They need to invent an award for guys like Collazo. Of course, I might be a little biased. Lewis is from New York. He's from Brooklyn, to be exact. I'm surprised he didn't enter one of the bouts. Any of his bouts wearing Timbs. But shout out to Collazo, man. He's always been one of my favorite, what I call unsung heroes. As I'm going to read you an article from Boxing Scene. Came across it. He's fighting this Saturday. He's fighting at the Armory in Minneapolis. He's fighting on it's a PBC card on Fox. He's fighting on the same card with Devin Alexander, a friend of the family. So I'm definitely going to support this event. Again, the article's from Boxing Scene. The link will be in the description. Former world champion Collazo is looking to close out his career with a bang. The 40-year-old veteran is returning to the ring Saturday night when he faces undefeated rising welterweight contender Eimantas Stanionis. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name. Collazo's coming off of a technical decision loss. I'm not even going to begin to say that name. I can never say this fella's name. Cudratilio. Sounds like a villain from Thundercats. Which took place nearly 2 years ago in October of 2019. Win, lose, or draw, Collazo is planning to call time on his career this weekend. Stanionis, sorry for butchering his name, who's coming off of a decision win over Thomas Delorme in April, will look to secure an impressive win over the most experienced opponent of his career, which is dangerous. Let me explain something about Collazo. If you have an up-and-coming welterweight, and you see Collazo's name on the paper, you better be very careful of what you're doing. Because if your guy has an off night, Collazo is that much of a crafty veteran, he can literally snatch that win from him. Literally snatch it. All right? Collazo was a workhorse, man. Collazo is a workhorse. I've never seen him out of shape. And he can provide various problems to you. Don't let his record fool you. Just like a guy like Emmanuel Augustus, another unsung hero. You look at his record and say, this guy can't be a threat. Oh, on the contrary. Those guys are threats. Collazo, Emmanuel Augustus, these guys were threats, man. And Lewis is on this card for a reason. He's a problem. So Lewis says, I can't wait for Saturday night. It's been a long road, and I'm just eager to step back in the ring and do what I do best on fight night. He said, this is going to be my last fight on Saturday night. The sport is overwhelming in many ways, and sometimes it's hard to enjoy it. Even saying that, I'm bringing everything I've got on Saturday. I'm going to leave my mark once again. I believe him. Right now, the only thing he has on me is age. Age doesn't matter, though. When you fight and stay in the gym like I do, like I said, I've never seen him out of shape. That's what I do for a living. I've been consistent, and there's no excuses coming into this fight. You can't compare one fighter to another. Really, it doesn't matter if they have similar styles. You have to prepare for each guy to the best of your abilities. Once that bell rings, everything can change real quick. Let me explain something. Collazo was all business. And I'm going to reiterate, do not, I repeat, do not let his record fool you. Let me pull up his box record real quick. I always knew who he was. I saw him fight twice in Queens, once in Brooklyn, if I remember correctly, years ago. So I was very familiar with him. But here's where I believe the world got to know him. He fought a fella on HBO. Remember when HBO used to air boxing? He fought a fella by the name of Ricky the Hitman Hatton. That was back in 2006. WBA World Welter title. It's a 12-round fight. And Ricky was the favorite because at that point, I believe that was Ricky Hatton's first fight at welter. At this point, they were building the fight between him and Floyd Money Mayweather. So he comes over here, and that's another thing. Ricky came over here to get some Collazo work. And let me tell you something. Go back and watch that fight. He almost blew it. Ricky almost blew it. He's coming off a Costa Zoo win. He knocked out a guy named Carlos Musa, who was a known cheater. I remember watching Carlos Musa fight Vivian Harris, and he just threw a flat-out WWE headbutt at Vivian Harris. Vivian was beating him all through the fight, and then he ran into a punch, and Musa ends up stopping him. Musa ends up fighting Ricky Hatton down the line, and he gets stopped. Where is Vivian Harris been? Anyway, that's another question for another video. But Hatton comes to the States, fights Luis Collazo. Go watch that fight. 12-round fight. Collazo, it was ruled a knockdown in the first round, I believe. I believe it was the first round. But their legs got caught up and he fell. You know, Ricky Hatton came and brought half of London with him. But somewhere in the middle of the fight, you saw a change. You saw a change, and Collazo made it a dogfight, and that was something. When it was a dogfight where the opponent was initiating it, Hatton wasn't used to that. He seemed pretty human, and what I felt Collazo did was he exposed a lot of flaws in reference to Ricky Hatton. I said, ooh. So then you know, they threw him in there. They threw Hatton in the ring with Juan Urango. He knocked him out. Then they threw him in there with an old Floyd opponent in Jose Luis Castillo. He stops him with a body shot, and then you know the rest. But Collazo set a tone. Now, the reason why I'm pointing that out is because later on, a few years later, Collazo ends up in the ring. All right, he fought Andre Berto. He lost a unanimous decision. And he has some names on him, man. He fought some caliber guys, man. He knocked out Victor Ortiz. You remember that? Knocked him out. That was crazy. He lost unanimous decision to Amir Khan. But let's go all the way up to 2015. He fought a guy by the name of Keith Thurman. Now, here's why I'm mentioning that fight. Again, Keith was on a tear. You know, one time, KOs for life. Remember that? This was 2015. This was when, you know, Keith was on fire. He gets in the ring with Collazo. What do we know happened in that fight? Collazo hits Keith in the body. And Keith looked like he crapped his pants. Now, Keith won the fight. The fight got stopped, whatever. But again, here's Luis Collazo showing you something. And what's been the ongoing issue with Keith since then? He might not like it to the body. Well, who showed us that? Luis Collazo. This man is an unsung hero. I appreciate you, Luis. I enjoyed watching you work. Real supporters of the sport know who you are. You are a hard worker. Good luck to you Saturday. I hope you go out with a bang on a good way. You know what I mean? They need to make trophies for guys like you. Shout out to Collazo, man. And good luck to Devin Alexander. Shout out to our brother Devin Alexander. They all fighting on the same card. So I need everybody to have a victory. For real, for real. Collazo had a great career. A great career. He has a very, very, very solid resume. So salute Collazo, man. Good luck in all your future plans in life, man. You got out the game. You got all your marbles. I don't know if you're going to start training people. I don't know if you got a gym. I don't know. In fact, I hope to talk to you soon, brother. That's what's up, man. Big ups to Collazo, man. I'm happy for you. Bronx on deck.